Hi everyone and welcome back to the ChromaticKnits podcast. My name is Michelle and this is my place on the internet where I talk about all of my crafty, yarny, knitting adventures. You can find me on Instagram, it's chromatic_knits, and you can find me on Ravelry, it's ChromaticKnits. I am so glad to be back. It's been over a month, oh my goodness, since the last time I did a podcast. I did have the video from last week of shopping in Tulsa at a couple of different yarn places at the Knit Stars store, as well as Get Stitchin' in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She's just all over the place today. Can I help you? Okay, bye. Just chaos mode all the time. Anyway, so go check that out. If you haven't checked that out already, I will be posting a video next weekend about with an interview of Petra at my local yarn store here in Arkansas called Unraveled. So that will be coming up. I'm sorry if she gets very squeaky. Aria, stop. Phoebe, come here. She's just being hateful. Anyway, so other things that have come up, I signed up recently. I don't know if any of you are interested in this, but I signed up recently for the Crea podcast. She is hosting an Advent swap, so I just signed up for that. So if that's something that you're interested in, go check out her channel. She has a link in her description of her last video, so you can check that out there. And the window is closing, so if you want to get in on it soon. And I think that's all the announcements that I have. So first, let's look at some knitting. So I did complete some things. So I do have a couple of FOs. The first FO, so being in Oklahoma, it was like a gajillion degrees. Like Oklahoma is even hotter than Arkansas, which I didn't know was possible, but it is. It's so bad. Like last summer when I was there, I ended up in the emergency room from heat stroke because I was just so overheated. My body just couldn't do it. It was not good. So this time that didn't happen, thank goodness. But it was still very hot, like over 100 degrees, several days for like over a week that we were there. It was crazy. So I just really didn't want to knit with wool the whole time I was there. So I just cranked out a whole stack of dishcloths. So yeah. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. This was just some cotton yarn that I had in stash. I honestly don't even remember what it was called and couldn't find the label for it. So, but it was probably just like from Michael's or Joann's. And but it is really soft though in comparison to some other ones. But yeah, so just wanted to crank these out, get these done. These are going to be Christmas gifts for some people in my life. My plan is they won't be watching this, so it's okay if I say it here. My plan is to take some of these, package them up with some soap and some other goodies, and send them off as Christmas gifts to a few people. So I just need to weave in the ends, because who weaves in the ends as they do them? People who have their life together. That is not me. That is not me at all. So the ends are not woven in. They will be woven in by Christmas. That is the goal anyway. So these will be added to my stack of dishcloths. One of my other goals is, so recently I've decided to walk on the treadmill in the mornings for about 30 minutes, depending on how many times I snooze my alarm. And so I know that Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady, she knits dishcloths while she's walking on the treadmill, And part of me is like terrified that the yarn would fall. Like I would put it in the cup holder and I'm terrified that like I would pull it and the whole thing would come out and then it would go like in the belt of of the treadmill. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm afraid it would like go in the belt and get like stuck and like break the treadmill. So, but part of me really wants to find a way to be able to knit a knit some dishcloths. So yeah, so that's something I'm thinking about doing, but haven't really pulled the trigger on yet. But these are coming along. I'm already started on the next one, which I'm not going to show because it's just a little piece. But yeah, these are still in the works. So getting those done and added to the stack. Next thing, I finished my own design, which is fantastic. This is a project that I've been working on for a while and finally got off my needles. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a musician by trade. I went to college for music, was a musician in high school. I've been playing the piano since I was 4 years old, and the piano is my first love, and will always be my first love. And so one thing that I've always wanted is a pair of mittens, of piano mittens. So I made myself some. So I made this design myself. Do they match? No. Do I care? No. And they fit me perfectly. I made them perfect to my hand size, which is something because I didn't want like a big floppy mitten on top of my hand. Do you know what I mean? Like, because then you like try to grab stuff and then it gets stuck. Like, it's a pain. And so I made them with the keyboard on the outside. And then I made this geometric pattern on the inside, on the palm side. And then I have my thumbs. And then just some 1x1 ribbing. I will be writing this chart up as a pattern because I didn't see anything like it on Ravelry and I really just wanted it for myself. And I might be making a pair for one of my friends as well, who's also a pianist. So that's why it's called Chromatic Knits, because chromatic is in colors and then chromatic as in the chromatic scale, right? So every note on the keyboard is chromatic scale. Using white and black keys. So yeah, so these are done. Again, I will be making a pattern of this. And for this, I really wanted some sticky, nice, like woolly wool. So the only thing that I could think of was Rauma phenol garn. So if you've never used Rauma garn, and their phenol, which is their fine wool, right? So wool is wool, fine is fine. So this is their fingering weight yarn line. You can get it in the US, but it's like $10 a ball, and the balls are 50 grams. If you go to actually like Norway, it's like $3 to $4 a ball. But because they're importing it, there's this huge up tax on it. But anyway, so I got 2 balls of the black, 2 balls of the white to make these, so I have enough to make another pair. And my goal is to have this pattern written up, tech edited, and ready to go to be published in January. I figure by then, people are maybe sooner than that if I can. But it's a super easy, quick knit. I got these done in like a week, 2 weeks. Super potato chippy. I mean, I just sat down and was just knitting them. And it's super memorizable. Like once you get the pattern, you're good. So you can just keep going. And yeah, I love them a lot. They're nice and warm. I know that this is fingering weight, but they are warm because of the woolly wool content. And I haven't blocked these yet, but I know that this is going to bloom like crazy. And if you've ever seen Ellie over on the Skander Knits podcast, this is one of her favorite wools that she uses. She's from Norway. This is one of her favorite wools that she uses from Norway too. So it's definitely a super woolly wool. And that's where I originally heard about it from. So that is done. And I'm really excited about those. So be on the lookout for those in the next couple of months as they get tech edited and go out. If you're interested in testing or know anybody who'd be interested in testing those mittens, let me know down in the comments below, because I'm already, the wheels are moving for other future designs as well coming out. So I'll definitely be needing some testers coming out here soon. And this is in my little hedgehog bag because I love me some hedgehogs. They're one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. For those of you who don't know, I used to own a hedgehog, and she was one of the loves of my life. So her name is Sorcha, and she was an albino baby, and I loved her very much. Next, I have 2 whips. So again, because I went out of state, I couldn't bring like all of my yarn and all of my things, right? So I had to kind of limit myself to what I could bring and what I could feasibly work on during that time. So obviously I'm in the middle of a row, because why would I finish a row? That would make sense. But anyway, this is a project you've seen before because this is my second one that I've made. This is the Habitation Throw. This is a pattern by Helen Stewart, and I've been working on this a lot. So I've done like 13 rows, or 13 colors, I should say, on this project. And I've been switching all of my progress keepers, side note, to Harry Potter themed ones, because for anyone who knows anything about Harry Potter, back to school is September 1st. So we're almost there. So I was like, you know what? Now is the time. Between his birthday and when he went to school for the first time, now's the time. So I knit all the way from there, my little head wig, all the way up to the yellow. So finish the pinks, into the oranges, and into the yellows now. So it's coming along very nicely. This is a super potato chippy pattern and is like 90% garter stitch. So definitely would recommend if you're looking for something that's just mindless that you can do in front of the TV, or in my case, while you're in meetings at work. And I'm just using minis for that. So that was a kit from a homespun house over at Molly over there. Did a kit of 40 different minis. So that's what I'm using for that. And then my last whip, this is the Melting Marl Blanket. This is a pattern by Stephen West. And this is for one of my nieces. This is the pattern that she picked out and the colors that she picked out last winter rather. Here we go. And let me kind of stretch it out a little bit so you can see the actual pattern. So it's just kind of a wavy chevron-y pattern. And I've knit, where is my progress keeper? I've knit from there. You can see it. Here it is. My little butterbeer progress keeper. So, yeah. So I've made some good progress on that. About, I don't know, 8 inches, 10 inches, a foot maybe, something like that. So, and there's the progress keeper. It's real cute. It's got a little lightning scar for the butterbeer. And for this, I'm using Knit Picks Swish DK, and the purple is the eggplant colorway, and the blue is the dusk colorway. So there's that. And then I do have a couple of acquisitions. Gosh, I have a dog toy behind me. So one of them is, where is, I bet Aria stole it. I'll look for it in a second. Is that where you're being sus? There were 3 skeins of this, and now there's only 2. I don't know where the third one went, so we might have to go look for that in a minute. Anyway, so this is Lola Bean Yarn Co. This is the Diablo colorway in her string bean base, which is a 75-25 base, 463 yards. So I had 3 of these. Again, we'll find the third one. I told you, my dog is a yarn thief. Hopefully it's not all strung up downstairs, but we'll find out. Love this colorway. And Lola Bean Yarn Co., for those of you who don't know, Adela is one of my favorite dyers. So definitely had to get in on this pre-order, and it's pre-order from months ago, so it doesn't count. And then this is from Canon Hand Dyes. Yeah, I can't remember. I never remember if it's dyes or dyed, like past tense or present tense. I'm like, I don't know. It's Hand Dyes. So this is their rainbow set. Let's see. Bright Fierce Color is what it's called. And I ordered this, but didn't remember it, and it showed up, and it was like magic. So I had no idea that I ordered this, didn't remember that I ordered this, and then it showed up. So magic. And looking back through my email, apparently I did order it. So here we go. I have a couple ideas for this, but basically this is 25 minis, 25 5-gram minis is basically what this is, in all different rainbow colors, which I love. Always love a rainbow in this house, for sure, which you'll be seeing more rainbows in just a second. So that came in. And then I got this strawberry bag, which I will put the link to the vendor to all these things in the description below. But for those of you who don't know, I was in a sorority in college called Zeta Tau Alpha, and one of our symbols is a strawberry. So every time I see either a strawberry or a 5-point crown, I'm like, must have it. But yeah, so love this. Love that they're all different colors and not just red. You know, you rarely see a strawberry that isn't red. So love that. And a few other things came in. I have some progress keepers that came in. So Charmed and Dangerous is one of my favorite charm and progress keeper makers. She had a shop update that was all yarn based. There's one that's a knitting. Her big thing is narwhals. So I have a yellow knitting narwhal with purple yarn. I have a teal crocheting narwhal with blue yarn, if I can get it turned around. They're all kawaii style. I also got this one, which is her honey bee one. Just got this one as well. This is like a underwater one. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. I got a purple knitting one. Just couldn't not get them because they're yarn and they're knitting and they're things that we love. I got a turtle with a yarn back. So it's purple turtle. If I can hold it correctly. Purple turtle with a yarn back. And I got some rainbows. So I got a unicorn, rainbow unicorn. I got this rainbow. This is from Sucre Miniatures. The other ones are from Charmed and Dangerous. I got this donut rainbow. And then I got a Halloween one because I love me some Halloween. A little ghost with a pumpkin. Adorable. And then I got some woodland creatures. So I got a little squirrel. And I got it because it was a hedgehog. And again, I love me some hedgehogs. I just had to get it. I saw the hedgehog and was like, that will now be mine. And I think this one too, yep. Got a little blue star with purple. yarn on it from Charmed and Dangerous. And I got a pumpkin for fall. Love that so much. So, yep, got a whole tray of them. They outgrew their original container, so now they're in here. I got this as a gift from my partner for my birthday, I think. So I think she's trying to tell me something. Get your stuff together. But yeah. So just added a few things, and then kind of looking into the stash, I have 300 grams of Lulu Bean Yarn Co. that came in, 125 grams of Canon hand dyed that came in for 425 grams, and then between the piano mittens, the habitation throw, the dishcloths, and the melting marl blanket, I had 496.53 grams that went out. So this is the first time that I have more going out than coming in, which is amazing. We're not including the yarn that I got in the video that I posted last weekend from my yarn haul. We're not talking about that yarn, and that yarn is already in use. So it's kind of like it didn't happen, right? It's already going into a project that I'm not going to share on the podcast quite yet. So that is all I have for knitting for this podcast. I do have a little bit of a life update and a little bit of a podcast update. So coming up, I will be sharing, like I said, that video with Petra and Unraveled, this Unraveled store, telling you a little bit about what she has to offer and what they do up at that store. And then also I'm going to be starting a new video series where we'll be talking about like the top 5 or top 10 like best like knitting tools and knitting ideas and knitting projects that we like to work on, and stitches that we like and patterns that we like and those types of things. So if you have anything that you would like me to talk about, feel free to comment down below. I definitely want to hear from you and what you'd like to see on this channel. And then the only other thing is that with those other videos, I'm going to be sharing them. They're going to be shorter, but they're going to be more often. So that instead of every 2 weeks, there might be videos in between. So be looking for that. And other than that, I just have a little bit of life updates. So I got to spend some time in Tulsa. If you're not here for the life update, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week in that video with Petra. And so as far as life update goes, I went to Tulsa, got to hang out with my partner's family, got to spend some time with my nieces and brother-in-law and his girlfriend, which was lovely. We got to do some swimming. My mother-in-law has a pool, which is fantastic. We got to go do some shopping and hanging out and going out to certain restaurants there, which was all lovely. And we got to eat whatever we wanted because we were on vacation, which was also lovely. There's this amazing donut place there called Daylight Donuts, which we don't have here. And they had, I swear, like they had messed up their apple fritters. So I love apple fritters. They're one of my faves. And they had an apple fritter that was like literally the size of a dinner plate. Like it was crazy. So yeah. So it was awesome. Yeah, I had a great time. Got to go shopping and got to go hang out with all of them and got to meet my brother-in-law's girlfriend. So that was a lot of fun. Got to go for 2 weeks, stayed inside most of the time because it was wicked hot outside, like stupid hot outside. But didn't go to the emergency room this time. So wins all around. But that is my main update. Everything else is pretty much the same. Just working, starting to design a bit, which is nice. And I'm going to be going through my yarn stash and cataloging everything. So I'll be videoing that as well, creating some vlogs there. of cataloging all the yarn and counting how many skeins I actually have. I know, terrifying. It's terrifying, but we're going to do it. And then we're going to see that number, and then we're going to faint, and then we're going to be fine. So that is the order of operations of what's about to happen, but it'll be fine. So I'll just need to knit more in the meantime, right? Just knit more in the meantime, and it's like there's less. It's like there's less going on, and there's less yarn in the stash. But yeah, so that's pretty much it here. Just trying to stay cool in this August heat here in Arkansas and getting prepped for back to school. I'm not going back to school, but my partner is. She's a professor, so she's getting ready for back to school, and everybody around in town is getting ready for back to school. But maybe that'll mean some fun things, you know, going to college football nights and see, I don't like I'm a sports person. Going to Friday football nights, going to Friday football games, I think is the word I was looking for. See, not a sports person. Like soccer, got you. Football, no. But it's fine. But, you know, just getting out and doing things with the community and participating and bringing my knitting as always. So another thing I'm going to be doing, I have some other videos in mind too, that'll be coming out about things going on in the area and about my weekly knitting. So be on the lookout for that. But otherwise, I will see you again in the next video next weekend. Have a great week and see you next week. Bye, y'all. Happy knitting.